You can have perfect safety policies and still be dangerous. I know we've all seen organizations that have these giant safety manuals. They're in a 3-ring binder, 3 inches thick, and it sits on the shelf, and they're dusty because nobody does anything with them. Let me explain how you can fix that by fixing your culture. So people stop reporting safety problems when they see other things going wrong, such as ignoring small safety problems. They figure if their boss is gonna ignore a small safety problem, how big does this problem have to be before it gets any attention? So they just don't bother. Second, you see some organizations that punish honesty because it may cost the company money. So if we make these little tiny shortcuts, yes, it's not as safe, but we're going to produce more product, we're going to push more dirt, and we're going to make more money. When those things start getting ignored, people just start shutting up about safety concerns. And it's not just about safety. It goes down to how you do anything is how you do everything. If you're going to skip on that little bit of safety rule on this piece of heavy machinery, what's to say you're not going to skip that little piece of admin that gets your people paid overtime? Or you're going to skip this little part that prevents them from getting the right amount of time off. So how you do anything is how you do everything. And that's especially true when it comes to safety. So how do you fix it? First, you have to be a culture that follows your procedures and protocols. If you follow protocols on the admin stuff, if you follow protocols on time off, on vacation, on dress code, all of those other things are going to lead to the safety culture, because now that I know you enforce the dress code, now that I know you enforce the proper procedures for taking vacation, I have a better feeling, a better understanding, a better expectation that you will follow through on your safety policies and issues when I bring them up. Second, you have to establish some psychological safety within your organization where somebody feels that they can bring up those issues, even if it costs the company money, even if they have to shut down the job site. They understand that you will have their back as long as they are following the correct procedures and protocols that comes into safety. Next, you have to have a culture that stops taking shortcuts, because one little shortcut leads to another shortcut and leads to another shortcut. And sometimes they're done in good faith. We were training with the Army down in Camp Blanding, Florida, and we were behind on schedule. We had a rough time getting the buses. The route recon wasn't done correctly. The range wasn't properly set up. We had all these things, and I had leaders who were trying to do the right thing. They really were. And they started taking little shortcuts. And it turns out we got a school bus stuck. Now, we can place blame anywhere along the road you would like to with that school bus getting stuck. But as the commander, I was responsible for everything that unit did or failed to do. We did 2 things that day. We got a school bus stuck. That's on me. We also failed to conduct training. That's also on me. So those little shortcuts, even though my subordinate leaders were trying to do the right thing, they led to a big safety issue and a lost day of training. So small shortcuts can add up to big problems. And the last point on establishing your safety culture is realize that trust actually increases reporting. What I mean by that is once your organization trusts you, they're going to report more. So when you look at the data, it may look like you're being less safe because you're having more safety concerns brought up, but in reality, those concerns existed before. They just weren't talked about. So just be aware that you may have an increase in reporting, which actually means you're being more safe, and you can actually address those problems, run a safer organization, make more money, and more importantly, not get anybody hurt. What are some issues that you have in your organization when it comes to safety culture? Drop a comment below or visit me at johnvanduzen.com. Teach it, coach it, lead.